Hey everyone, this is Elenbaas from Nightlight Astrology, and today we're going to take a look at Mercury's upcoming trine to the planet Uranus. So Mercury is moving through Capricorn right now and is going to be making a trine to Uranus in the sign of Taurus over the weekend. You should be feeling this connection between the two planets building, or you might start noticing it somewhere in your life. So we're going to give you a sense of what to watch for with this archetypal combination in the next few days, and especially over the weekend. Before we get into it today, I want to remind everybody that we are in the midst of our Kickstarter campaign. We are trying to raise the support of 1,608 backers before New Year's Eve. Right now, we are at about 600 backers, so we have about 1,000 to go. We're not going to be able to get there unless people who enjoy this channel take a moment, follow the link in the description of this video or the comment section below to the Kickstarter. You'll see I leave a link to the Kickstarter in the comments section. Click on that link, go over and say, hey, I listen to this channel and I value it. Here's $5. Here's $10. Pitch in anything, literally. Everything helps. You can also choose a reward when you donate, including 50% off to all of my online classes. If you bundle them together, we do have some of the 4-class bundles left. That takes the class cost, the savings up to about 75% per class. So that's definitely the best deal we offer. But also there's other special rewards, like a special podcast series I'm doing in the fall. There's the Astrology of 2023, your Sun or Rising Sign horoscope for the year ahead, all these different exclusive talks, some exclusive readings that I offer. So check that out if you like this channel and appreciate it. We deeply appreciate your support. There's a staff of 10 of us. There's also some of the goals we have in the year ahead, like creating a affordable reading service for people so that we can offer donation-based readings to the community. So that's a big goal we're working toward with this year's Kickstarter. When you pitch in and help us get there, you are helping support this channel and a whole team of people and good projects and goals that we have in mind for the year ahead. So thank you to everybody, almost 600 people who have already donated. We deeply appreciate that you took the time to just pitch in. We can't get there without people who enjoy the channel supporting it. So yeah. Also, before we get going, don't forget to like and subscribe, share a comment or two in the comment section. These things help the algorithm pick up on the channel. Always appreciate that. You can find a transcript of any of my daily talks on the website, nightlightastrology.com. All right, so let's go over to the real-time clock and take a look at the transit of Mercury making a trine to Uranus. Now, Venus will eventually make the trine as well, and we're going to visit that next week. Here you can see the two planets connecting through a trine, and this is Saturday, December 17th. So just a few days away from this one coming into the weekend. But then if we give it about a 3-degree period of separation, that means that we're going to be getting this transit sort of in the air all the way until Monday. At which point, then going into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, Venus is going through the trine. So it'll be one after the other. Remember, it's interesting that both of these planets are appearing as evening stars right now. We talked about that yesterday, how they are sort of carrying the messages of the eclipse into manifestation, you might say, through their appearances as evening stars. What I find so amazing about this is that this one in particular is that right as Mercury makes the trine to Uranus, almost immediately after, within just a couple of days, and as Venus is making that trine as well, then Jupiter goes right into Aries. And that Jupiter entering and hitting that 0-degree Aries mark is a very pivotal and sort of explosive turning point. Everyone's going to experience that a little bit differently. Certainly, everyone will be talking about Jupiter into Aries again next week a little bit. But for now, the way that I'm looking at Mercury's trine to Uranus is that all of the following themes we're about to talk about, I'm going to give you 10 archetypal themes to watch for with Mercury and Uranus over the weekend. But it's that these themes are preceding a bigger and more explosive turning point signified by Jupiter entering Aries next week. So when you see Mercury trine Uranus, a lot, like, for example, one of the, I guess, most textbook basic archetypal, what do you want to say, an explanation or a description of that combination, sorry, I can't talk all of a sudden, would be sudden insights That's actually on my list. So a sudden original insight, the light bulb goes off, ding. Well, this is not just any short little Mercury Uranus trine. This is a Mercury Uranus trine with Venus following shortly after, both appearing as morning stars, carrying the eclipse energy, hitting that trine to Uranus, and then bing, Jupiter goes into Aries and ignites a very pivotal, fiery Mars-like change. So that's pretty exciting. It shifts the whole the mood around this Mercury Uranus dynamic. So we're going to take a look at 10 themes to watch for. Mercury trine Uranus, 10 themes to watch for. And these, remember, consider that these themes are all preceding a very pivotal moment for Jupiter entering Aries next week. Remember, Jupiter in Aries, a cardinal sign. Cardinal, the ancient word for it was tropical, which means to turn, like from the word tropos, meaning a turning point or something swiveling. So it's a turning point coming up. It's a cardinal fire sign turning point, which means very spring, youth-like, enthusiastic, with a lot of vigor and assertiveness. It's very explosive with Jupiter in Aries, and it tends to make things big and fast. So it's like a rocket taking off next week, and it's preceded by Mercury trine Uranus. And these following 10 themes are therefore connected. They're like the smoke billowing around the bottom of the rocket before it takes off, you could say. All right, so the 10 themes to watch for. Number 1, original and inventive. You will not find a combination that is more, think outside the box than Mercury and Uranus. Now, any kind of aspect between the two will really produce that delineation. But the trine is especially nice because trines are of the nature of Jupiter, which means that they tend to be very supportive and they tend to bring in positive, beneficial connections and developments. So you're talking about a planet of mind, connecting with a planet of invention and revolution. So you have like this very original and inventive quality in the air. The other way that you will notice this combination coming through, original, inventive, but also suddenness of the mind, a sudden word coming out of a sudden like phrase, or like suddenly saying something, suddenly thinking something, suddenly changing your mind. One of the things that I love, like it's a saying that we have in my house with our kids: you can change your mind. You can change your mind if you want to. Because sometimes, our girls will get stuck in like something they're feeling or thinking, and they're just really stuck. And so one of the things we say is, you can change your mind if you want to. You can change your mind about how you feel or what you think. So sometimes that works. Most of the time, like, not so much. But yeah, so sudden open-mindedness. Suddenly, I'm not sure I have to think this way anymore. Suddenly, I'm not sure I'm going to be stuck in that same old thought pattern. Suddenly I'm open-minded about something. Suddenly I'm considering something I've never considered before. So the originality and the inventiveness go along with suddenness and open-mindedness. And these are the breakthroughs coming before Jupiter enters Aries. So whatever is happening here, it's like a little flashpoint that leads to a really significant shift. Now, again, not everyone is going to feel that equally. A lot of it has to do with what house Jupiter in Aries is hitting in your birth chart, or what planets Jupiter in Aries might be aspecting, or if Uranus is hitting anything in your chart right now, for example. But notice these themes around you. Number 3 is problem solving. It's amazing how, if, it's like clockwork. The things that I feel stuck on, that I'm not sure about, that I feel like, well, I just don't know what to do about that. I don't have a strategy or a good answer or a solution to that problem. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, like, lightning striking, or like, what's the, you guys remember, was it 3-2-1 Contact? Does anyone remember that show? And I think at the beginning of the show, they had a little graphic of the apple falling off the tree and hitting Newton in the head, It's like we could have our own little 3-2-1 Contact moment next week. We're ready to learn. We're open to problem solving. We're getting hit by sudden little insights that help us. Suddenly we have the strategy. We have the approach. We see things suddenly that we haven't seen before. Number 4, very similar, a breakthrough in understanding. Oh, so as an astrologer, one of the reasons that I love astrology, and one of the reasons that I believe that it was called the science of Hermes, is that if you spend enough time with astrology, like day in and day out, you are going to find that the way that you have been thinking about a planet or a sign or a combination of planets, if you keep thinking about them and you're just, it's like all of the archetypes become a part of this meditation in your life. And then after a while, it's like, I just don't, you'll reach points where you're like, I had a way of talking and thinking about, say, the third house for a long time. And now I'm stuck and I feel like, that's not quite it. It's not quite it. And this is unique to astrology. I swear to God, this is so thoroughly astrological. Well, maybe it happens in other fields too, but this is a uniquely astrological thing that happens. If you study astrology, you'll be like, I have a way of thinking or talking about this planet or that, whatever, certain metaphors I use, certain images, and then all of a sudden they feel dead. You're like, and this is one of the reasons why, although I hate horoscopes, like, although I don't love making them because I like this kind of content better. The thing about making horoscopes is that you get so sick and tired of saying the same old things that by necessity, because you get so tired of the sound of your own voice saying the same old shit, that you have to finally come up with something new. And the same thing goes for readings. I read charts for people every single day for going on 13 years, almost 13,000 charts or so. My God, you have to find new ways of saying things. It is like clockwork. When Uranus and Mercury get together, boom, suddenly this brand new way of thinking about a planet or a sign or a house or a combination of things appears. And then I'm working with that, for a while until things get stagnant again. I promise you, this is a thing with Mercury and Uranus. You will see this. You'll get sudden breakthroughs and insights in something you study. Or musicians, they hit plateaus and then suddenly they break through. Weightlifters, they can't lift any more than a certain weight, and then all of a sudden one day they have a breakthrough. So breakthrough moments are a big part of Mercury Uranus. Number 5, erratic thinking, talking, and nervousness. Well, I mean, it's kind of like Mercury Uranus in a trine, at the very least, would be like being in a very exciting, coffee house. It's very stimulating. There's lots of ideas. The ideas are almost always promising more than they can deliver. It's like, and there's kind of like a nervous, restless live wire, like, as suddenly it feels like you've taken a line of Coke in a bathroom somewhere, but you haven't. And so what's going on? It's very Mercury Uranus. You can just suddenly feel like you're just a little wired. And like you got plugged into an electrical outlet, and your hair is going to be looking like it's standing up like mine. Hopefully it looks a lot better. But anyway, erratic thinking, talking, nervousness, which can be really fun, but also, like, to be honest, Mercury Uranus transits can result in like anxiety attacks. Now with the trine and in earth signs, I think you're going to feel a little bit more grounded with this one. And I wouldn't be so nervous about feeling like unstable or ungrounded, but this Mercury Uranus will literally coincide with like a blown transformer or a live wire being down somewhere, and they have to like seal it off and get it, repair it. So, watch for the kind of erratic live wire quality, and just, whether it's the grounding meditation that you do, or it's a little sage or something, whatever you got to do to create a little bit of a more containment if you're starting to feel that, just something to watch for. Number 6 would be intellectual arrogance. Now, I've seen, there's gradations of this. This could just be over excitement. Like I said, big ideas that don't often deliver as much as they promise. I love, like, okay, here's how I would give it, the intellectual arrogance, like a pass. Your first cup of coffee in the morning, or tea if you have any caffeine, within that first hour or two, isn't it amazing how great all of your ideas feel? You know what I mean? It's just like, everything sounds so good. I think I'm just gonna, I think I'm gonna clean out my whole garage, right now before I go to work. So if you extend that and you imagine you're on that same high, but now you're talking about politics or religion or your Aunt Betty's taste in clothing or something, like, your ideas can become overly confident, and your intellect, and at the worst, it could become like, you could be a really obnoxious, like, super, like, all of my ideas are the best ideas in the world. everything I think is right. I have no need to learn anything new, you know? So the hubris, mentally, intellectually, or verbally, something to watch for, but also just like, I don't know, have some mercy and compassion for like excitability and exaggeration, because sometimes it's just fun. Number 7, nervous stimulation. This would be the need to do things that are very like stimulating, whether that's like going for a run or suddenly you're like, I've got the urge to buy a what are those things called? Peloton. Like I'm going to go buy a Peloton right now. So you could do something like that. You could suddenly find that you uh, are you a fidget toy person? I know like some people will have something to fidget with at their desks. This is the kind of day where you might find that like, you're looking for a fidget toy existentially. Just make sure that it's not a person. Oh, it could be taken so many wrong ways. Just make sure it's not a person that you're sitting there and, jabbing and poking and annoying with constant chatter all day. Oh my God. See, I'm like possessed by the very energy that I'm talking about. All right. Anyway, so nervous stimulation, the need for it or the potential for it to be ungrounding. Number 8 is technological breakthroughs. So with technological breakthroughs, this could be something really simple, like realizing that you need a printer. Oh, a printer is going to make my life so much easier. A scanner, I don't know, whatever. Or it could be that you, if you're someone like me, and I remember there was a Mercury Uranus transit when I got new equipment for this office for filming and doing my, my content creation. It's like, oh, breakthrough in technology, new technology that's a little bit better than the old stuff I was using. So sometimes just like upgrading your technological. It could be something also like, oh my God, I'm getting a car that has some fancy, computer system in it, or maybe there's just some new way of doing business or making your work a little bit easier, a new approach or technique or strategy, almost like an inventive way of doing something to save time. But technological breakthroughs would be another one. And then number 9, athletic achievements or breakthroughs. Now, interestingly, Mercury was associated with sports. Hermes was associated with like wrestling and court games, the sport of debate, as well as anything now that goes back and forth, back and forth. Mercury has an association with games. So, for example, anything that would involve some kind of quirky or fun or eccentric or surprising or unexpected game playing. Like I could see myself in the next couple of days getting really creative and like something creative and weird will happen and we'll play some fun games, me and the girls, or there could be something where you see like an athletic milestone or achievement. It'll be like some really a remarkable thing. For example, as a Minnesota Vikings fan, this comes through on Saturday when Justin Jefferson could potentially break the single season receiving record set by Randy Moss on the Vikings. Like that would not surprise me on a day where Mercury is trine to Uranus. So any kind of breakthrough achievement, especially in any kind of gaming and like fun or setting a record for the highest points ever scored on Yahtzee, you know what I mean? And finally, number 10, overall, the urge mentally, verbally, in your nervous system, the need and urge for freedom, independence, freedom, free-spiritedness, free thinking, the need to emancipate yourself from structures of thought that are limiting or oppressive, like that. It'll be a very strong impulse. And remember, any and all of these things, which might be, more fleeting in any other transit, are very powerful because what comes after? Next week, right after this energy comes through, remember, Venus will then trine Uranus, creating some of the same things, but in a more Venusian way. And then boom, it's Uranus or it's Jupiter into Aries. So watch for these things to be part of a pivot that's happening next week that's pretty dramatic. All right, that's what I've got for today. A little bit shorter. It's my daughter's birthday today, so this video is a little bit shorter because I want to make sure I have lots of time to get downstairs and celebrate while she's just getting back from school right now. So Anyway, yeah. Last thing, don't forget, we still need 1,000 people, if you can believe that, in a little less than 3 weeks now to pitch in and contribute to our Kickstarter campaign. I believe we can do it. I really do. I think we can still get there. Choose a reward when you donate. You can find the link in the description or comments of this video. And literally, like a $5 donation helps us reach our goal as much as a $100 donation does. Of course, I think we have really great rewards that you can choose from, but literally just the appreciation of the audience and people just saying, hey, you know what? $5 is not that much to pay for a channel that I love year round. So if you have that in you, if not, we appreciate prayers and good wishes too, that we might reach some of our goals this year so we can build and develop some of the things we want to do and keep supporting this channel. All right, that's what I've got. I hope you guys have a great day, and we will see you again tomorrow. Take it easy, everyone. Bye.